The Sahel is in a state of meltdown at the moment, from Mali to Burkina Faso, now to Niger, to Sudan. All of these countries are in a terrible state and are in a state of upheaval. The coup in Niger is important not just for Niger itself, but also for the region and for the wider world. And this is why. The coup affects neighbouring countries because it creates this access of dictatorships. The leaderships in Mali and Burkina Faso, the military leaderships, have already pledged their support to this military leadership in Niger. Essentially, this is gangster politics. 3 gangsters have taken over the military leaderships in their countries, and they're going to run their countries in the way that they want to. The same goes for Guinea, which is not next door but is also very close. The same goes for Sudan, which is in the throes of a civil war between 2 gangsters who are presently competing for who's going to win out in the end. And so what we're seeing across the whole of the Sahel is a collapse in government of any sort. Not just good government or bad government, but any government seems to be in a state of flux at the moment, and that's very dangerous. Russia's private military company, the Wagner Group, are having a field day at the moment in Sahel. They have established enormous influence there. They had influence in Mali already. The Malian government threw the French out and said that they wanted the Russians in, and Wagner came in to help. Wagner involved in Libya, further north, in Benghazi, with General Haftar. They've been involved in Sudan, in the Sudan military civil war that's going on, particularly in the west of Sudan. And Wagner have said that they will now help in Niger. And the Nigerian leaders have appealed to Wagner, or appealed to Russia, to send Wagner to help them. And Wagner fighters are said to be trying to cross the border into Niger now to go to the capital in order to establish their version of order. And all of this is yet another stepping stone on Russia's control or influence across the Sahel regions. They get out of it mineral rights. Most of these countries are rich in minerals, and they get minerals out of it. And they support any government of any complexion. They don't care about the human rights elements of all of this. They'll do the dirty work for any government as long as they get mineral rights in return. The broader importance of all of this is partly because it legitimizes gangster politics in a very important part of the world, across the heart of the Sahel region in Africa. Countries which are mineral rich, that matter to the rest of the world as a sort of common heritage for the world, particularly for new technologies that need some of these minerals in a functioning free market. But it also diminishes the sense of rule of law. The fact that this can happen, if you can get control of an army of 12,000 men, then that's good enough to run a huge country of 25 million people. That's what's happening in Niger. And the idea that international law matters at all just goes out of the window. And so yet again, international law takes a hit. And in the last 10 years, almost nothing has happened in the world which is good news for international law. We are slipping into a kind of a jungle mentality in world politics, certainly across Central and North Africa. And that's not a good thing for the rest of us anyway.